Up until just a couple days ago, I've only used one camera for my entire photographic journey. It's not a great camera by any means, but it's been enough to help me learn and grow for the last 3 years and 6,000 pictures. This is the Canon Rebel T100, or, can't see that, as it's known in Europe, the 4000D. If you're here because you don't have a camera yet, you've just stumbled into a one-stop shop for all the information you're going to need to make that purchase. Even if you choose not to get this exact camera, I think you should think about it. The Canon Rebel T100/4000D, henceforth just the T100, because I'm not European, was intentionally designed to be the ultimate budget DSLR by Canon, released in 2018 to a DSLR of just shy of $400 USD. You can still find this camera in what I call quick start kits on Amazon for around the same price, though they do come with renewed T100s because they were discontinued at the start of 2023. In case any of that went over your head, let's start with newbie info dump number 1. DSLR stands for Digital Single Lens Reflex. What does that mean? It means there's a mirror in between your lens and your sensor that makes your viewfinder work. But don't click off just because you heard the word mirror and mirrorless is the new thing, because they're expensive. Mirrorless cameras are really expensive. They are the way of the future, yes, but the future is very expensive. And if you're a parent trying to get your kid a camera for their birthday or Christmas with an Amazon Prime membership and no knowledge of cameras, a quick start kit with the Refurb T100 is a good deal. But if you keep watching, I'll share some resources to help you save some money. Why was it raining out there? Back to the camera though. To get it down to $400, Canon definitely cut some corners, most notably in the camera's sensor. It's only got a resolution of 18 megapixels on an APS-C crop. For some reference though, 4K resolution is only 8.3 megapixels. 18 is still great. And APS-C aren't bad. The cheapening was actually done with the sensor sensitivity, or ISO range. Minimum is 100, which is fine, that's standard. But the maximum is only 6400, or 6400 if you want to say it that way, doesn't matter. But the flagship camera, the 1DX Mark III, that's a long name, can go over 100,000 ISO, just for some perspective. And the camera this is being recorded on can go up to 40,000 ISO. So 6400's not a lot. Input up number 2. It takes too long to properly explain crop sensors or APS-C sensors and ISO in this video, so I'll be brief. But comment down below if you want to see me go more in depth on those in future videos. Anyway, ISO is a numerical value representing the sensitivity of your sensor or film. Higher numbers means it can take in more light from a dark scene. So yes, your image gets brighter, but also gets much grainier because it has to make up more information. And a crop sensor is just a sensor that's not 35 by 24 millimeters, roughly the size of a single film cell thing, square film, whatever. They're not squares, you know what I mean. But if you're just starting out, don't let any of those numbers or specs get into your head. They don't really mean anything, especially if you're new. You have all these different modes, so just put it into auto and have fun with it. It'll take care of ISO, shutter speed, aperture. It does everything for you. So just have fun with it, man. But if you're trying to get more serious with it, you can also do everything you need. It has a fully manual mode, so you can do both ends. As long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter. Until you feel the need to upgrade to a better camera or get something more specialized than this, once you've discovered what photography niche you want to get into. However, the day where you feel like you need to upgrade shouldn't really come for a while. For me, it took 3 years. Unless you're wanting to do action photography, in which case, yes, you may want to upgrade a little bit sooner. The burst mode on this guy isn't the fastest. You can only take about 3 pics a second, which isn't that great. But the negatives are over. On to the good things. It's an amazing camera for how cheap it is. The only DSLR you can find for under $500 on Amazon. But if you look for DSLRs on Amazon for under $500, you'll also find a Canon EOS R100. But what's the difference between the T and the R100s? Well, the R100 is the replacement to the T100, my beloved T100. It's mirrorless, and other than that, they're the exact same camera, as far as I know. If that exists, why would you get this? Easy. It's lens mount. This guy and all of its friends in the DSLR line by Canon use the EF mount, which is different from what all the mirrorless cameras use. They use the RF mount. I'm not going to go over all the differences between the two of them. Just know EF and EFS, if you see that, only go on DSLR cameras, whereas RF and RFS only go on mirrorless cameras. And if you see an S on it, so EFS, RFS, that means they'll only go on a crop sensor camera like this one, just for your crash course. The other big difference is that mirrorless cameras, mirrorless lenses, because they're for mirrorless cameras, which are the new industry standard, they're going to be more expensive because they're new glass. And you can only really get them new right now. There's not that many used lenses and, used mirrorless lenses out there yet. Which means they're really expensive. New and used, because they're new, no matter what. But, speaking of used, here's those big money-saving tips that I mentioned earlier. If you're on a budget or just want the biggest bang for your buck, listen up. Do not, for anything but batteries or SD cards, go on Amazon to buy your gear. Use a website dedicated to reselling photography gear, like MPB or KEH, to reliably and safely purchase great camera gear for a significant markdown. So instead of going to Amazon for that $400 T100 quick start kit, go on to MPB. You can score this exact camera, not this, literally this exact one, but the same camera, for $230 or less, and a good lens starting at $65. Most of the accessories that come out in those Amazon kits are made of crap anyway, so don't bother. The only thing you actually need after a trip to one of these used websites like MBP or KEH is, like I said, an SD card and some batteries. But wait, if you're buying a used camera from one of these websites, you're only getting the body, no lens included. So if you're new to photography and need some help hunting for a lens, check here to watch my playlist of lens overviews. The first two videos are from the first two lenses I ever got. So maybe my purchases can inform yours.